So, what is MPI and why use it? MPI stands for Message Passing Interface. It is a message passing library standard based on the consensus of the MPI forum, which has over 40 participating organizations, including vendors, researchers, software library developers, and users. The goal of MPI is to establish a portable, efficient, and flexible standard for message passing that will be widely used for writing message passing programs. MPI is not an IEEE or ISO standard, but has in fact become the industry standard for writing message passing programs on high-performing computing platforms. MPI is the de facto standard framework for distributed computing. It consists of a simple communication model between processes in a program. There are multiple implementations, targeting to be highly efficient for different platforms. It has a well-established community since 1994, including an active online community of developers. MPI simplifies the process of dealing with multiple processors distributed over a network. For example, when using MPI, you can forget about direct memory management and rather concentrate on managing processing. In this context, all MPI processes are grouped into a unified communication environment called MPI_world. We refer to MPI_world as a communicator. Each communicator contains a group which is a list of processes. MPI processes can only communicate if they share a communicator. All processes are ordered and assigned a rank starting from 0, where the number of each process corresponds to its rank. This rank identifies each process within the communicator. Within this world, all processes can communicate with every other ones. With MPI, two primary types of communication are used. The first type is called point-to-point communication, where one processor communicates with another one. Point-to-point communication involves only two processes, where one sends a message to another. The second type is called collective communication. In this case, a whole group of processes is involved at one time. To proceed with working examples, we will restrain ourselves to the use of the Python package mpi4py. mpi4py supports two types of objects. First, pickle-based communication of generic Python objects. This is for convenience. Second, direct array data communication of buffer-provided objects. This is the faster option, delivering near C speed. In this mode, we will rely on NumPy arrays. An important class of the mpi4py package is called com, which includes the communication functions. As we mentioned previously, there are two modes of operations to communicate. To communicate using generic Python objects, use methods written with a lowercase. For instance, the methods send and receive, all written in lowercase. To communicate using buffer-provided objects, use uppercase methods. For instance, here, send and receive are written both starting with a capital letter. To get started, let's load the mpi4py package within the Python environment. More specifically, let's load the MPI module of the package, just like so. Using this module, we can now have access to some useful information, like the MPI_world that we've mentioned earlier, the rank and size of our processes, as well as the name of the processor. This can be done interactively in an IPython environment. For instance, here, I'm running all of these commands on an interactive session of IPython on the G-Star supercomputer at Swinburne University. Now that we know how to access useful information, let's write our first MPI program, the classic hello world. The program will simply output the rank of each process and the total number of processes used by our program. To run this program, as opposed to a usual Python program, we first need to type MPI run with the number of processes before typing Python hello-world.py. As each process is run in parallel by MPI, the output does not necessarily come back to us in ranking order. In this first example, we simply ran MPI on a single machine. In the next example, We will make a variation of this code to show how simple it can be to handle multiple machines using MPI. So here, we simply add a section to the print output to state on which processor each process is running. This information can be accessed using the getProcessorName mentioned previously. To get access to multiple machines, we will request 2 nodes on the S-star supercomputer with 14 processes per node. Once the resources have been allocated to us, we run the new version of the code, saved as Hello World 2, using 28 MPI processes. The output shows that, indeed, 14 processes have been executed on one node and the other 14 on the other node.